Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers, and sojourners of truth, the 144, and the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I am Akila Textry, reporting to you live from the divine energy essence of it all. Always reporting from 5D consciousness. And I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. And I'm bringing you the news to infuse if you so choose to. So with that said, I'm bringing this galactic news, and I want to speak a little bit more on the ecliptic energy. I know we just had the full moon and the lunar eclipse full moon, and we're now in the waning phase leading up to the new moon that is going to be a total eclipse. So this is really some powerful ecliptic energy that a lot of us have been feeling leading up to this, maybe weeks before. Some of us have been feeling it. I've been hearing 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. For me personally, I've been feeling the effects maybe about a month or two, since around January, kind of feeling the effects of it. And you're gonna feel it even after the eclipse, leading into May. By the end of April into the beginning of May is when it'll start to settle, and you'll really be able to see and gain some clarity. For those who are having a hard time to see, for most of us who are seeing, and we're able to follow the energies, follow the cosmos, listen to those who are making the astrological forecast so that we understand the cosmos, those like myself that are helping us and others to understand it. If we're listening and we're paying attention, we have a little bit of insight and foresight as to where we will be and where we want to be around that time. And it helps put the mind at ease, right? Something I mentioned in my workshop recently, probably last night, was that it really feels good when we all know what's going on, right? Think about it. For those who don't know anything about these energies, nothing about what's going on, as situations come up, it's like getting hit by a bus. It's like, what is going on? And they get confused, they get defensive, they get aggressive, they get depressed. All of these things happen to those who are not aware. These times that we are in is not for the faint in heart. This is not for people who are sleeping. We must, I don't like to tell people what they got to do, but we must be awake. This is for the awakened ones. The strong in heart are the ones who are awakened or are awakening and becoming a part of this intentional process, or being intentional in this process. For those who are not, this can throw you around like a roller coaster upside down. But so it pays, and it pays for us to know where we're going. Is the bus coming? Let me know so I can get out of the way. But that's what knowing these energies help us to do. So what I'm bringing to you is a little ecliptic language. There's some themes playing out with this eclipse, and I want to speak about it some more. As it comes up, I'll share with you more of what it is. This one particularly is about the authentic authority, right? There's a theme that's helping us, beckoning us, guiding us into our authentic authority. Authenticity is what we want to lead into anyway, as we are coming out of the heart chakra season. And when you're in your heart, in the highest vibrations of your heart, you're tapping into your authenticity, right? So that when you express through your throat, when you bring that up from your heart, you express through your authenticity, which allows you to walk in your soul's integrity and continue to express truth. Continue to be present, as we are present in your truth of who you are. So there are some themes with this ecliptic energy, as I've just mentioned, that is really helpful for those of us who are entering into 5D, for those of us who are understanding, who knows the shift, who are quantum leaping, and you all know who you are, the same people. These are the people that I speak to, those who are in it and those who are awakening to it, because it's about doing the work on this light grid, right? Knowing how we are activated on this light grid with the 5th density light that is pouring in. All this information that is coming in so many ways, solar flares, frequencies turning up, right? The cosmos doing the cosmic dance. There's a lot that is happening to help catapult us to the next level of our soul self. In our soul's ascension, we're all on an individual soul unfolding journey. So it'll be wise for us to take this opportunity. So with that said, the opportunity I'm seeing now with this full moon we just had in Libra, remember that the eclipse is connected to our nodes. So the south node in Libra, north node in Aries. So this was the full moon in Libra where our south nodes are right now, right? So there's something that we're pulling from. There is a culmination, as a full moon is a culmination. So there is a culmination of something. There is something that is, kind of look at it as being ripened. It is ripe, it is to its fullness. So there's something in our past that has been ripened to its fullness, and it's time for us to reap that, whether we want to or not. That's the karmic way of life. That's the in and outs. That's the way the energy flows. All right, so this is time for us to reap that. And with other planets where they're positioned, it's really helping us. As I've mentioned before in the eclipse video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the Saturn in Pisces, karma, Lord of karma, and the house of karma is also helping with the return, with the fullness of what is coming from the south node. So coming from the south node, and we want to go forward. The south node is where we're coming from. The north node is where we want to go, our trajectory. And this is for the collective, but we each have individual north node, south node. So find out where yours are and if they align, because the work that we're doing in this ecliptic season that helps us along with the nodes where they are now, it also helps you with your personal nodes in your soul journey on your personal chart. So find out what, even if it's not Aries or Libra, but find out what your nodes are, and it'll also help you based on what you gain in this development with these nodes. It'll also help you, level up for something that you need also in your personal nodes. So look into that. For those who have a north node and south node in Aries and Libra, this is working specifically with you, especially if your south node is in Libra and your north node is in Aries. You are working this, exactly what I'm going to tell you is specifically for you, right? And how we are transiting this authenticity that we're being called into for the self, right? In a certain type of way, right? Because some people are walking in their authority, but it's not really authentic. Some people are authentic, but they're not walking in their authority. And there's a little bit of a mix for different people. For some people, they don't have either. They're not walking in their authority. They're not being authentic. And for some people, they have it too much of both, too much of, abusing their authority, right? So this is going to help us have a balance and a harmony, bringing justice. Remember, Libra is about justice. It's about balance. It's about the we. So we're coming from that, and we want to transcend forward into the evolved aspects of the North Node in Aries. What is it saying to us? What are the evolved aspects of Aries, right? A lot of us think Aries is, hard, not really hard-headed, but fiery, and, Aries has a soft touch to it, right? And although it is about the ego and it is about the will to do, it has a lot of egoic aspect about it. But it is for us to, it's about the individual. Although it is like that, it is for us to fine-tune that individuality and not do it from such a selfish state, right? So there's a goal that we want to have here while we're stepping into our authentic authority. Okay, so with that said, to let you know overall, just so you have an idea of what coming from and going to. So coming from the South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries, we are coming from the we. Libra is the we. From the we to the me. From the collective to the individual. From the in bondage, the collective that is in bondage, or I want to say the disempowered, from the disempowered or the in bondage collective to the sovereignty of the individual. And also from the selfish within the collective, because we have that, from the selfish within the collective to the compassion for the collective within the individual. So think about it and see which one of those, especially the last two that I mentioned, and see which one kind of resonates with you, right? Overall, we're all going from the we to the me and from the collective to the individual. But how we do it depends on what type of person we are. We want to take away, if there's any, whatever selfishness we may have within the collective, we want to transcend that and bring that over into having thoughts of others while being in the individual. That's the evolved aspect of being in Aries. The spiritual maturity in it is being able to have compassion for the collective while being in the individual self. So, and the one I said before that was being empowered. It's about being more empowered. So if you're disempowered by being in bondage by the collective, right? For those of us who feel like the powers that be, have power over us, or your family has power over you, or whatever it is, if you feel trapped, it could be with friends, but you feel trapped within the collective, it is time to come out of that and find yourself, your sovereignty of self, your individuality, wearing your crown and walking in your authenticity, being authentic to yourself in all aspects, so that you're walking in a true authority of self, right? So that's ultimately where we're going with that. So with that said, I'm going to read you guys a little, download I got from it. I got to remember to post these and write these down and see how it speaks to you, how it helps you. So being that this is about the authentic authority, although we are being called to review our past social dynamics and to traverse through the social challenges being presented, it is not as much for the collective as it is for the individual. Right? So as I said before, just kind of keep that in mind. And what I said, it really is about your soul unfoldment. We're being given an opportunity to face ourselves by facing our weaknesses, that we develop while interacting with others. So that's the importance of it for those who may be like, why do I have to deal with these social challenges right now? So this is how we face ourselves, right? As life is a reflection of us, we are being given the mirror to look really deep within and find the source of our dysfunctions and dyslexia without deflecting, because the mirror is being shown to us. But if you have the habit of deflecting and saying, no, that's not me, and putting it on other people, then you're going to miss this message. We really have to open up to this. For ones who can embrace this dynamic, they will find jewels for themselves within. There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for those who seek within the 7 seals of their soul. For those who don't get it, the 7 seals are your chakras, right? Within the 7 seals of your souls, as the energy centers is the guide through the soul, right? So if we utilize our energy centers, which are the doorways into our consciousness, it is going to guide us through this gently. And if we use the cosmos, like what I was explaining, right? The look within others is all for the one who is looking. So the look within, as we're looking within others, is for the one who is looking in, which is you, which is me, right? Us who are looking into the social dynamic of others. We got to really be looking at ourselves. It's for us. The justice and balance of Libra is also for the one who is looking, which is us. It is for you to gain clarity in how you have regulated your emotions, which you can only access or assess, not access, but assess, right? You can only assess it through how you relate with others, right? So we want to look at how we have been regulating our emotions. That's why these social challenges are coming up. Whatever it is, in whatever way, whoever it is, try not to look at the person. I don't even want to say try. Triers are for liars. Do not look at the person. Even that's a word to not use, because when you tell people don't do something, they do it, right? It's just like a natural, I don't know, itch or click. So do your best to focus on your emotions and not really look at others. This is happening for you, for your soul's purpose, so you can see how to regulate your emotions, right? So this is why we need others, because we assess it by how we relate. How else can we assess our emotions? It's based really on relationships. We get emotional by our social dynamics, right? So this is a beautiful, like, I think I need to call this social studies. Like, we really need to do a social studies. This is a social studies experiment, right, with ourselves. So we can access it by relating. And when Pluto is in Aquarius, this is another part of it. So by relating this, also know that with Pluto in Aquarius, this will restore your personal power, right, through the revelations that are being made. Because Pluto being in Aquarius is about revelations and personal power. So again, even Pluto's playing its part. This is due to the trine between, and the trine is usually the connection between the three signs, meaning the three signs that share an element, to make it simple. So this is due to the trine with Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, which are all in the element of air. So if anyone has any placements with early degrees in any of these signs, well, really, especially in Gemini, then this is working intensely and tightly with you right now. There's no other planets in Gemini right now. So you have to look at your personal chart and see if you have any placements or planets that are in the early signs of Gemini, because that will be in the trine with the moon in Libra, as well as with Aquarius in early degrees, with Pluto in Aquarius early degrees, right? So for those who are not so keen with the cosmos and it may sound like jumbo, just know that it helps you if you have any placements in Gemini, right? And trine is usually a good thing. For those who don't know that word, just know that when you hear trine, it's a good thing. So it's really helping with whatever we need to get from the past. And Aquarius is also about the we. So we're seeing like a double, reinforcement on the we and the revelations of the we, because Pluto is about that revelation. And so the help that we're getting is that it's going to help you restore that personal power, right, of self. And so it's a beautiful thing. Do not allow deflecting to block you. This is not the time to deflect, but allow the revelations to break you open in your heart, right? Reminds me of the card that I pulled earlier. Allow it to break you open so that you can change, excuse the noise, so that you can change how you are regulating your emotions. That is the purpose of this. Remember what I said a little bit earlier, that we are being able to assess how we have been regulating our emotions, because that affects us. Our feelings and everything affects us in how we've been relating and how we have certain perceptions in our mind. This is third eye activity. This will have to take a whole course for me to really break it down, but just simply put, know that we're getting a chance to see how we've been regulating our emotions. And this time, if you allow yourself to be broken open with these experiences, let it be a beautiful opportunity, no matter how ugly it feels. Then you're going to see how you can change based on what you've assessed. Now you can go, okay, this is how I used to handle it, and I'm realizing this, and now there's something that I need to do different in order for me to elevate and evolve in this social dynamics. Remember, the goal is to elevate and evolve in this social dynamics, okay? So look at how we can change how we regulate our energy and motion. This is a great opportunity for those who are shifting into 5D, all of us 5D people, and allowing this information from the frequencies and the cosmos, the energies, to guide us into another level of the next paradigm shift, right? So when we find, here's the important part, this is the last piece I'm going to share with you. When we find the justice within ourselves, that is within the social challenges, when we find that justice, remember, it's not justice that is going to be revenge-seeking justice. This is the justice that whatever the dynamic is, you're going to find something that brings justice to you. You're going to find the peace that surpasses all understanding. You're going to find that pot of gold, by utilizing your energy centers however you can, shadow working, whatever it is you can do to find you. Do some deep mirror looking in the mirror, seeing where you are and how you have handled these things, and now bring justice to it by changing you, because we can't change nobody else. These things are not coming up for us to change people. It's the justice is us finding the peace within ourselves, finding the harmony, find where we may have been out of harmony, out of alignment, out of balance because of how we've perceived any wrongdoings, right? Not that they didn't do something wrong, but how we internalize it is very important in how we are holding back our soul. So this is all about elevating. We can't evolve and elevate if we don't release and let go of some things. So that is the justice. And when we find that justice within ourselves, that is within the social challenges, and then extract the clarity that we need for our personal growth and unfoldment, right? We'll be able to apply that to the comprehensive understanding of relationships that brings a new and true respect for others by first respecting self. It's all about self, but it's happening through the relationships. Faithfully, you get what I'm saying. It's through the relationship dynamics that we're extracting something for self to implement it, put it where it needs to go, right? And also, by doing this, evolving the soul. This is an evolution, an opportunity to evolve the soul. So you are evolving the soul self to a sovereignty. There's that sovereignty, to a sovereignty that allows you to embrace walking in your authentic authority. So for those who have throat chakra issues about being in your authentic self, expressing from your authentic self, and walking in your authority, this is going to allow you to embrace that and have you step into it with all due respect. And because you have restored in the social dynamics with the social challenges from the past, you will have gained a level of integrity in your soul that holds you accountable and responsible in the individuality that allows you to be self, that allows you to be in self but not of self. You know how they say, I'm in the world but I'm not of it. So it allows you to be in self but not of self, so that there is balance and harmony with the mutual respect of the collective within self. So it reminds me, as I say that, it reminds me of this card that I have that says, into me I see. Meaning the more I look into you, the more I see you, and look into you is the more I see me. Into me I see by looking at you. Deeper I go within me by looking at how I relate with you, right? Not condemning you by what you've done to me, not condemning myself for allowing it to happen. This is why we need forgiveness. We have to do some heart chakra work. For those who are into the energy centers, go into your heart chakra. Go into the 3 chakras I'm going to tell you that will help you to work with. The sacral, the heart, the third eye. And you can meditate on it. You can, place your hand on each part. Ask yourself by starting with your feelings, because your feelings are holding the instructions. We can't regulate our emotions if we don't admit our emotions. So we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, and that's the sacral. So place your hand on your sacral. Feel free to do it with me now if you want. As an example, I'll do it with you, and you can do this on your own, whenever, however, right? So place your hand, take a deep breath, hand on the sacral, and say, allow me to feel. I allow myself to feel so that it may be revealed. Take a deep breath so that I may heal what needs to be healed. And then take another deep breath. And you can imagine the colors of these chakras intertwining as you do it, and knowing that within self there is nothing to be healed, only truth to be revealed. It is the revelation that heals us. And that is why Pluto is about revelation and power. Power, personal power. You can't get that personal power unless you have a revelation. It empowers you. It heals you and empowers you. It heals you through empowerment. So this authentic authority, the theme for this is authentic authority, stepping into that, allowing you to embrace that, right? And not abuse that authority, right? This is true authentic authority, because you're not allowing it to override you. Some people, if they're too spiritual, they may feel like they're entitled to walking in this authority, and then they don't really have a healthy balance because they trample on others, or they disrespect others, or they call people out. We all know we're on different levels, but we have to remember to stay in a love frequency. And we're not in a love frequency when we then start to spew bad things at people who are either in the ignorance of things, they haven't woken up, they don't understand, and we have to be about our soul's business. But it's not for us to call them out in negative ways either. We want to lift them up in light, lift them up in love. If it's a bother to you, then you may need to separate. We don't have to have these debates with people. The more you open yourself up, the more you will find like-minded people, soul tribe people, where you can have progressive, productive conversations that are all about things like what I'm saying to you now. How can we help each other open our hearts, right? Have these experiences, but allow it to break your heart open so you can become unbroken, so you can unbreak your heart from being a victim to your feelings. And instead of being a victim to your feelings and allowing those feelings to feel you and put your heart in automatic regulation and distress, we can be intentional and go into those feelings, honoring those feelings. Say, hey, why do I feel this? Because the feelings bring the true instructions if you allow it. And then with that, you can have a true regulation of your heart. And then with that, your heart is in a higher heart space, and you can send that energy to either energy center, because the heart helps any energy center. So, and the heart is, when we're in our higher heart, we are in our authenticity. We are in our authentic selves. So embrace that. And for those who are having a hard time, do exactly what I said as well too. And if you're having a hard time being authentic, it is because somewhere in that chakra it's closed. Either your throat is closed if you are having a hard time expressing it. And so is the heart if you're having a hard time being in your authenticity, and so is the solar plexus. The solar plexus and the throat goes hand in hand. So the solar plexus may be blocked as well, because that's your I am, right? That is your sun light, right? It speaks for the Aries. It really has a lot to do with the ego, like Aries. But we want to be mature in our ego. We want to be in our wise ego, right? So yes, let's all utilize this great time. You can still utilize the energies of the full moon, not because it passed. So work on it, whatever dynamic is coming up for you, and work on it. And remember, we have the new moon coming up, so we're still in this ecliptic window. So let's understand this ecliptic language as we do this co-or dance with the energies, with the cosmos, and get a deeper look into yourself and become empowered, right? So with that, I share my love and light with you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, please start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And please, if you have not done it already, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know if any of this resonates with you. Be well. Peace, love, and light.